Today on Metaphysical Mississippi, we'll be talking about an upcoming book club for November. Its selection is the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Natalie West joins us, so stick around. Hey, Natalie, it's so great to have you. We have Natalie West here with us today on our podcast, and we're going to be discussing the next Metaphysical Mississippi Book Club that will be November 12th from 2 to 4 here at Holistic Health and Healing. And we're actually in the classroom right now recording this podcast where we have the book club, and we're excited to talk to Natalie today. Is this your second time to be on the podcast?
Third.
Oh, because you've been on some panels.
Yeah,
We've had you at some panels
maybe
early on.
I've lost it.
Yes, yes. Okay.
I don't know.
But I think this is the second time you've come on to talk about book club.
Yes.
So Natalie West is the host facilitator of the Metaphysical Mississippi Book Club that we try to meet once a month. And this will be our fourth book. I think it's our fourth book club meeting, and we're so excited. This month, tell us the title of the book we're reading.
Coming up. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandanna. And it's just a fun little book. It's a really sweet, fun, enchanting story about finding yourself and making found family. And it's really sweet.
Now, is this the first nonfiction? I mean, first fiction, or did we have another fiction?
This is the first fiction.
First fiction. So
yeah, so I'm excited. It was really easy and fun to read, but it wasn't um too light. It was really
it's got some meat to it.
Definitely. It's very relatable. There's a lot of characters. People like this, you know what I mean? And so it was just a joy to read. So
what made you pick this book?
It got really popular all of a sudden and kept showing up in my feed. It's like a lot of people have been discussing the book on a lot of the forums that I'm on, and I thought, what a cool book. And then I looked it up and loved the premise. The premise is basically a British witch becomes a magical tutor and sort of just finds her place. And there's a lot of really cool themes and interesting, complex. I don't want to get too technical. Of like
lots of things,
Yeah. We are just showing up and having a good time reading stuff that we think is cool.
Right. And so as registration is already open for the book, so we encourage anyone who is interested in coming to go ahead and register. We do have limited seating, so we'd love for you to come. And Emily and I both have attended some of the book clubs, and it's not just about discussing the book. Of course it's the fellowship and refreshments and just being together to talk about the book.
And I'll confess, I usually don't read the book. But
you don't have to read the book or finish the book to attend
notes, but
no, you don't at all. And it's funny too, because like I always get a message from Emily. She's like, I haven't finished the book yet. I'm like,
yeah, I don't even have it.
Y'all.
But what I enjoyed, I attended last month's book club.
Yes.
And I really I learned so much. And when other people share and you get to know other people, and
yeah, and that was a deep dive for a book. I mean,
let's talk about last month's book.
And it made me want to read the book.
Actually. Well, I mean, I guess a book club can be a good advertisement for a book, but you haven't read it. No, okay. So last month's book club was Becoming Supernatural: How Common People Are Doing the Uncommon, and it's by Joe Dispenza. It was deep.
We barely scratched the surface.
I knew it was going to be deep, but I had no idea what we were getting into. I thought, oh, I got 6 weeks to read this book. It's not a big deal. And then I did it on Audible. Yeah, no, this is not an Audible book. It's on Audible, but no. I need a hard copy that I can write a little marginalia and stick post-it notes in and go back and look. But I mean, it combines like epigenetics, quantum physics, neuroscience, and research that is conducted in Joe Dispenza's workshops. And he's been doing that since 2012. And essentially harnessing and learning about the mind-body connection. And so it was there were case studies, there were meditations. We didn't even scratch the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think in 2024,
starting in January,
yes, we're going to take a deeper dive into Joe Dispenza's work and possibly start a monthly study group. So please stay tuned in the newsletters, and we'll announce it here on the podcast and on the website when we have that available. But we really want to do some meditations together and do some of these exercises together as a group. So we invite, even if you didn't come to the book club that we had last month about the book, I think it'll be open to anyone to join the study group.
Absolutely.
So just stay tuned for more information on that. But that's exciting.
And you don't have to know anything about Joe Dispenza. You can even know about him and be skeptic of the work. I'm mildly skeptic. I mean, I was a skeptic for 25 years. I'm skeptical about everything. But like you're gonna have to show me. But there was some really, really amazing points, things that I've experienced personally, things that I've read about that resonated with me. And I thought, I want to know, is there more to this? And so absolutely, yeah, come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that'll be on metaphysicalms.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have
more information. You can register for the book club coming up, as well as
future book
newsletters,
future book clubs and future study groups. Because we also talked about, and we may revisit this in 2024 when we studied the 4 agreements. That was our first book club selection.
Yes.
And we even said then that could easily be another study group. So that's what I love about book club is it's a great way to dip our toes into some different literary works of different people doing different things in the metaphysical, self-help, alternative healing arena, and a great way to find different things you might be interested in that could lead to further study. Find people that have the common similar interest, and who knows where it's going to go. So,
and I misspoke earlier. We said that this was the first fiction. The Alchemist was our first fiction.
Oh,
which was our second book. So we've done the 4 agreements. The Alchemist, Coming Supernatural, and the 4th book is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So yeah,
very cool. So, anyway, and I know I think we here with Metaphysical Mississippi, we do see and feel the importance of books. I mean, now that we're in this digital age, a lot of us, most books I read, I listen to on Audible. A lot of us are big podcast people or just searching the internet, but I think books still do have an important role.
I think Audible, if you're listening to a book, that's a book. Like I don't feel like you've got to hold it in your hand for it to be a book.
Right.
So I don't want anyone to think that, I just do it on Audible. That's legit. Now there are some things that, some of us learn different ways. Like I definitely need to get the book for Becoming Supernatural. But I listened to Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches on Audible, and it was fantastic. It was so good. I looked forward to getting in my car and driving. I was like, maybe I need to go to the store so I can listen to my book. Yeah. So I mean, it was so enjoyable. It was just so it's and that's one of the things that we try to do is make sure that if we've got a really heavy selection, the next selection will be lighter and fun. It is a different group of people every single time. I don't think we've had the same gathering so far. And so that's a lot of fun. So it's a book club, but it's not
exclusive.
It's not exclusive. Yeah.
Yes.
Just come.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And as long as you register just to make sure we have enough room. And so have you started looking ahead to 2024 about some possible
what's 2024? It's like so far away, Krista. No, have not yet, but that's because I'm so focused on the holidays.
We got the holidays, yes. But we'll try to give like we did a couple months ago. We went ahead and posted what the book selection was for October, November back in August, so it gave people time to read and plan and see. And like Natalie said a minute ago, it's not like you have to come every month. There may be sometimes your just schedule can't allow for you to come every month, or one book may not appeal to you as much as another one. So we'll just pop in. We'll try to maybe stay a month or two ahead to give people time.
I think I know what the January selection is going to be, but at some point, probably around March, after we've kind of gotten our feet underneath us and pretty established and have a flow, is we'll start offering selections and people can vote on what our next book is going to be. So that'll be fun. See what people come up with,
because that is something we might can do for a podcast or at a meetup or some kind of survey on our website.
Yeah,
and to find out what books do people, not only what books do people like, but a lot of us have that one or two books that changed us, and especially on our metaphysical path and journey, that book that we read it and went, okay, I'm a different person now.
Or like, what book woke you up?
Yes. Yes. And
that would be a fun podcast.
Yes, to have a panel of people to talk about their books.
What book got you?
Yeah.
Like
so we love books here at Metaphysical Mississippi, and plan to showcase some of those important pieces of literature, and not only from some of the metaphysical giants that have written things from the past to present, but also we have many local authors, which we have a local author sitting right here. But we have a good handful, and the numbers are growing, of people from Mississippi or in the southeast area of the United States who are authors who are writing fiction and nonfiction on metaphysical topics, history, romance, horror, supernatural,
fantasy,
science, like
it's so much fun.
And so, we hope in the future to showcase more of those authors again. And we've had a few people on already to talk about some of their books. But so yeah, we still love our books here. Yeah.
Physical and digital.
Well, I mean, I think words are so important, and I think that's what's very important in community is communication and words and written words and podcasts. We speak it, and that's all I want to say.
Well, if you look at the word community and communication, I mean, they have the same root.
Yes,
commune.
Oh, yes.
And communication is communing through interaction, whether it be words or there can be nonverbal, but and written. But
what I love about storytelling, or reading a book, it's not every book that we read is going to be a story format, is that we are all on these different journeys, and we'll read the same book and we'll get something different from it. And then we all come together and we say, here's what I got. Somebody else will say, I didn't even see that. That's amazing. I want to explore that. And just to sort of explore that book and dive deeper into it, as opposed to it just being a solitary experience where you go, oh, that's nice,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I love, is the sharing and the bonding of our group, because it's a lot of fun.
And yeah, reading helps you with your imagination. I mean, you get to set the scene. You get to imagine. I mean,
what that character looks like. What
you're guided, but you develop the story in your mind. So it takes participation.
you create the setting, you create the mood.
Well, that's exciting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I know one of my daughters who was more of a reader than my other two. That's something that she always said, like she would read the book and then would always be disappointed when she would see the movies. Like, that's not what that looks like. It's better in my mind than it was on the screen.
Well, I mean, talking about the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, we were already talking about the book at another gathering because some of us have already read it, and someone said, "I just want to live in that house," and it was, I had the same. I was just like, "Oh, I just want to see that view," and I'm really hoping that something like this, because it's a relatively new book, I hope it does get turned into a movie or a television like series or something.
Yeah.
I want to see that house.
Mm-hmm.
You
see it in your mind, but you really want to see it come to life. You want to see it come to life.
See that house.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's great. You gotta read the book.
Now, does the book take place in current time, or is it in the
Yes.
Oh, cool. So I actually don't read fiction or listen to fiction as much as I do nonfiction. I don't know if it's because somewhere I felt like that, not that it's a waste of time, but if I'm going to read, I need to be,
it's got to be serious,
right? It's got to be for myself and growth and empowerment and blah 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 blah. But I do think fiction plays a huge role in our self-development. And I know when I read this book years ago, it was before I was even into metaphysical things, but a fictional book that was based on historical fiction, I guess is what you would call it, loosely, was The Red Tent. I read that almost 30 years ago. And that was one of those books that changed my life. And I can't even say now why it did. I just remember it had a huge impact on me at the time when I read it. I had just given birth to my first child. I was just coming out of the church I grew up in. And even though this wasn't necessarily a religious book, it was about the children of Israel back, in the biblical Old Testament times, and to look at that time period, to visit that time period in my mind outside of the lens of the Bible was very interesting to me. And I really, and just the whole, what women went through, and are still going through to even today. So yeah, fiction can still have a huge impact.
Well, we all have stories, and to read fictional account of events, to me is just as powerful as like real life, because a lot of times those nonfiction books that we're reading are like skills and values and how-tos and improvement, but whenever you get a story,
facts and information,
yes, facts and information and research, but whenever you get a story that incorporates a lot of that, you sort of get to see those skills and those values and those concepts in action. Through your imagination, you kind of sort of see how those things might play out. I mean, it's all hypothetical, of course, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, and even with Joe Dispenza's books, I mean, it's deep. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, we're slapping the science label on that some people might be a little skeptical of. But I just kind of want to focus on the fact that we are reading really cool, really interesting books. We're drinking a little bit of wine, having some snacks,
yes,
and being able to. I mean, we're not doing peer review of like.
We don't have to prove the book is right. We're just discussing the book,
and we can debate those topics too. And I enjoy that. There were certain things like in the Joe Dispenza book that we were talking about that some people were like, well, what about this and what about that? It was just a really good, engaging conversation, and being able to go from that to this fun book about potions and teas and this ocean view and this experience of tutoring these children. There is a lot of low key, not in a divisive way, but there's some politics, there's some social and psychological stuff, there's revisiting and reframing trauma. There's a lovely romance that is not too over the top or anything like that. That's nice. Although I will say I love a good sex scene. And there's a good one in this one, but it's not over the top. I'm just letting you know. It's technically. Now she wants to read this one. This will be the first one she's read, y'all. So, no, I mean, but being able to see how those relationships and how some of these things play out in this hypothetical or imaginary world, you're still dealing with a lot of the same
things that
like the same values, the same community comes up a lot in this book. Because in one part of the book, there's a lot of witches. They're all over the place, but they are separated and they're isolated by design. I don't want to say too much, but in the end, I don't know. There's a lot of community that is built throughout this book, and I think that's incredible because that's what we do here. So,
well, now I've got to read the book.
Just so I mean, I don't want anyone to poo-poo anything because, and you're not.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't want anyone to disregard or discount something simply because it's fiction.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of good stuff in there. So,
yeah, so exciting. Yeah.
This is a good book. This is a really good book.
Thank you for choosing the books, and you've done a great job so far on that. And so far of this may not be a fair question to ask you, but so far of the 4 books you've done, which one do you like the best?
Oh my gosh. They're so wildly
different. Yeah, that's may not be a fair question to ask. Well, and the thing is, the answer to which was your favorite book may not be the same as which book club meeting
was my favorite.
Yeah, no, but they've all been different. I've either been in it or been here at the office while y'all were having them, and everyone had a different feel to it, a different.
I would say that like probably my favorite. Okay, honestly, and this is gonna sound like such a punt of an answer, but whatever book I am reading at the time is my favorite book.
Good answer. Good answer.
But I really, really enjoyed the discussion we had for Becoming Supernatural last month.
That was.
I really loved our discussion of The Alchemist and the twist there. That was a lot of fun.
There was a lot of laughter. I wasn't laughing. I was here, but not in because I did not read the book. And y'all said I was welcome to sit in, but I didn't. And I mean, I was just giddy hearing y'all laugh in the conversation. It was
but like the Four Agreements was a really emotional.
It was
meeting, and so I mean there were some tears. I mean there was. So it is, you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't even know that I could say like what was my favorite meeting.
But right now, The Irregular Witches is your favorite book.
Just
Yes,
yes.
yes. I love that. So yay. So everybody stay tuned for 2024 because we have all kind of interesting things around books coming up and book clubs, study groups, chances to meet and talk with local authors and showcase some books. And so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, so Sunday, November 12th from 2 to 4 here at Holistic Health and Healing, which is in Flowood, Mississippi. And the address is on our website at metaphysicalms.com.
And please do register.
Make sure to register. It's on the homepage of our website. And we hope to see you there.
Yes. Thank you, Natalie, for coming.
Thank you. This was fun. It's always fun. I appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. See y'all later. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.